Hey YouTube, Rider here, and welcome to my review for S.H.Figuarts Trunks from Dragon Ball Super. We've already gotten a regular edition from Dragon Ball Z, and then obviously this is the Super version like I just said. You can tell because of his clothes, the packaging, his hair, just numerous factors. You can also see me in the plastic there. Hello! Just real quick, speaking of, just going over the box, you know, typical stuff here. You got the picture of the figure there, kind of a great picture of him holding the sword there, which extends to the top right there. And then on the back here, you got, you know, shots of what you can do with the figure, which is super cool, all that jazz, and so nothing really too huge to write home about. Then you have this lovely white background. No, but accessories-wise, he actually comes with a fair bit of stuff. Here you have this effect sword part, which is really neat, because it's, you know, well, just neat for the spirit sword. And there's actually going to be a holder for that, which I'll show off in a minute. Right now he's holding the sword, obviously, as you saw. And then you have this broken version, which is actually kind of cool because it duels as like this, well, the broken version you could pose him with. But this is also the one that will go into the sheath, which is neat. And then you have this Bokensha, well, this energy blast piece here. Alternate Super Saiyan head right here, which we'll be switching to. And then you have basically 4 faces. The one on him right now, kind of the default face. Screaming Super Saiyan face, side-eye face, Super Saiyan side-eye face, excuse me, screaming regular face. You got energy blast hands of various types, holding the sword hands, which are kind of weird. This is the closed fist, which is on him, which I switched out so we could put the sword in it. Actually, I'll show it on here. But you have, like, this weird mechanism here. I took this off here to show you that you actually take the bottom part of the sword off of, like, right here so that you can slide this in here. And it's, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not sure how I feel about it because the hand here is completely closed as opposed to the ones where you usually have to fit it in. I've seen ones where you remove the handle from here and then put it in, which is what I was expecting, but removing the little ball was an interesting choice. Maybe it's kind of a safer choice because then potentially years of removing it won't make this piece loose, but also then on the other side you might lose that little piece. But it was interesting, but I don't necessarily mind having to fit it in, but it's an interesting choice that I just wanted to highlight for that bit. And then the sash here is separate and you just attach it by, well, removing his head and then putting the sash over it. But let's go over the figure itself before we dive into the accessories a little bit more. The head sculpt on this I think is pretty good. I think it captures his personality pretty well. I think it's a pretty good default face. There's been some that have been really weird, but I think this is just a good standard resting Trunks face. I think the hair looks pretty good. Pretty good job of making it kind of look naturally, well, natural as anime hair is, but you know what I mean. The color detail I think is pretty well done. I don't really notice anything that seems terribly off to me about the colors. Obviously you can tell, you know, so the toyeticness of just the little flaps and stuff like that, but they also do a pretty good job of making it look like cloth, which is nice. And the sword looks pretty good too. In a few minutes I'll do a comparison to the Dragon Ball Stars figure, but this is a lot better than that one because it doesn't bend. It's got a nice silver sheen to it. There's not like a lot of details that they could really mess up on too. It's basically just 3 colors, I guess, but it's not like super extravagant or anything. Articulation wise, if you're familiar with Figuarts, you know it's pretty par for the course. Nice ball joint right here. You got your swiveling, double elbow joint here, swiveling at the fists, nice ball joints on the legs, swiveling on the legs as well. Double knee joint where you can really tell it's a toy, but I mean, how are you not gonna be able to tell it's a toy? You got a nice hinge joint here on the foot. You got your toe action joint, which is very often stiff. Chest and waist articulation, head and neck articulation, very well articulated. No loose joint problems or anything. It doesn't really feel overly cheap or anything like that. If you want to switch the faces out, it's just the same as all other Dragon Ball figures where you pull the top of his hair off and then switch the face out here, and then you get the receding hair Saiyan look, which is just my favorite. But that's how you do that. And then obviously switching the head out, RIP regular Trunks' head, who will not appear in the rest of this review. Then we got Super Saiyan Trunks' hair, which is, you gotta make sure you line it up right, and these are always super annoying when you're trying to put it on and it does this, especially with the Super Saiyan ones, because it's like, oh, let me just carefully put on this porcupine. There we go. Alright, but for real, be careful when you do that, because this is legit sharp. Just make sure you don't, you know, puncture yourself, because that would not be great. But that's pretty easy. Again, to switch it off, this one's a little bit easier because it's kind of easier to grab. You just do that. Again, that is weird alien 2-eye Lego Saiyan, but then you just switch it off like that. Pretty simple. Where does hair go? There we go. And there you have that. So that's super neat. Now that he's got that angry side eye, he's got someone angry to look over now. I'm gonna do a comparison side by side to the Dragon Ball All-Stars or Superstars, or, you know, hey, now you're an all-star figures. This is Super Saiyan Trunks. This one has only come in the Super Saiyan form so far, unless I'm completely forgetting one, which I'm pretty sure I'm not. We don't have a regular Trunks. Look how mad he is at him. So you can see this guy's obviously, well, skinnier. The details on him is better. I'm not a huge fan of this guy's head sculpt. I think the figure's overall okay. I feel like this is an obvious superior choice. Although I don't want to knock these because there's actually some pretty solid ones in the bunch. Unfortunately, despite Trunks being one of my favorite characters, I think this was one of the weaker ones. Also, the review of all these guys is incoming. But like you can see, the sword here is just super floppy, which is kind of annoying to me. Because, you know, if you get it in the package wrong, it's just kind of stuck that way. And the head sculpt, it's obviously stuck in one pose. Look how mad he is at him. No, but, you know, it's too, I mean, stoic's not the right word, because that's kind of the way they can always be. But I mean, there's just something lifeless about it. And then you also have this weird hairline under the hairline, which is strange, and I think his hair's too big. Like, I know there's parts where Trunks gets super Trunksy and his hair gets bigger for, you know, extended, like, Ultra Super Saiyan forms or whatever, but it just doesn't look right, to be honest. So definitely, if you're a huge Trunks fan and you want the best Trunks figure possible, go with this one instead. Again, the Dragon Ball Superstars line or whatever has had some cool choices, but there are certain ones that I just recommend that one over. This little stand piece you get with it as well. It's super simple to assemble. It's just this base piece, this piece here, and then attach this is where the sword's gonna go. Let me try to carefully do this on camera. So like, if you just wanna make reasonable choices in life, you know, and do this, then you just put it on your stand, and there you go. Now you're cooking with gas. Look at this dynamic pose I'm doing, guys. This is called standing with the sword. That sounded, nope. That's what a lot of places are like that, but that's neat. I mean, obviously you can get a cooler, more dynamic pose and a, you know, just a better job at it, but I kind of wanted to show that off. So if you're going to want to pose them like that, you're definitely going to want to use that unless you happen to have something else that's just better at it. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for this guy. Wow. See, there's a good pose called Using the Floor. Way to improvise, Trunks. I'm proud of you. No, but if you're a fan of Trunks, I can definitely recommend this figure. I'm pretty happy with it. It was one of the figures I was looking forward to the most because, again, like I said, I really like Trunks. It's a nice figure, solid, no loose joint problems. The details are pretty good, and you get a pretty solid amount of accessories, good variety, depending on how you want to pose him. And as always, it's a bonus that you can actually switch out the heads instead of having to buy two separate figures. So yeah, definitely a recommendation. Anyway, that's about it for this time. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that Trunks or bell to get the notifications for all my videos. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.